Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Veda and this is The Simple Budget. Here on my channel, I show you how my family is using the zero-based budgeting method in order to maintain a simplified financial life. If that sounds like content that you're interested in, I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button and join our little crew here. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. All right, well, hello everyone and happy Friday. I feel like it has been forever since I have talked to you guys, but you guys know whenever you have a busy week, it's just like the time goes by so quickly and so slowly, like simultaneously. So that's where I'm at mentally right now. I've had a very busy week. I'm doing a lot of prep work, getting ready for this Thanksgiving dessert open house that I'm hosting, and just getting ready for Thanksgiving also because we're hosting Thanksgiving for a couple of people as well. So it's just busy around here. Plus also, my entire Etsy shop is on sale for the month of November and probably also the first week or so of December. But I'll update more on that later. Anyways, so you guys have been taking advantage of that sale, which I'm so grateful for, but that is also keeping me very busy. So it's been a while since I've just been able to sit down and enjoy a little bit of peace and quiet, which is what this is for me. So thank you for the opportunity. But today's video is the weekly check-in. So if you're new around here, you're new to the budgeting system, no budgeting system works apart from a really disciplined and robust expense tracking system. Yeah, I can't even think of the words that I'm trying to think of right now. But basically, if you are not tracking your expenses, you are doing yourself a huge disservice in trying to maintain a decent budget. Tracking your expenses is not something that you can only do like every so often. It is something that, fortunately or unfortunately, you have to discipline yourself to sit down to do at least once a week, but definitely twice a week, I would recommend, especially if you're new. My husband and I would sit down like every other day and do expense tracking when we first started down the road of budgeting. So, obviously do what works for you, but if you're new and you're really wanting to make this work for you, I would highly recommend doing it every couple of days in the very beginning, because it really does help to sit down, make sure that you're staying in budget, make sure that your spending is not going wild, especially if you're a person like me who is a recovering overspender or just a recovering spender in general. It really helped me to sit down and make sure that I wasn't going wild and crazy with all of my expenses throughout the week. So anyways, I'm going to just go ahead and grab my budget planner here. The binder itself is from a brand called Jumping Fox Designs. I will go ahead and leave the binder linked below for you. The budget planner, and this dashboard is available in my Etsy shop. You can purchase it to download it and print yourself. I also have a digital version that you can use in like a notes app on your tablet. And then of course I have printed versions as well that I can print out myself and ship to you. So a variety of different ways to get it there. I'm going to move into the expense tracking pages though, because like I said, that is the bread and butter. We do have a few expenses to go over today. It was not a particularly spendy week, but definitely, we have a few things to go over. But I'm going to go ahead and pull these out, zoom you guys in, and we will get into the expense tracking. All right. I just realized that I didn't put this down. I like to do this so that it kind of clears up what can look to be like a very cluttered piece of paper. But this is my expense tracking sheet. This is how we literally keep track of all of our expenses on a daily/weekly basis. I do have this available as a digital download that you can print yourself, just the expense tracking sheet. My Etsy shop is always linked below. And like I mentioned, my entire Etsy shop is 15% off for the month of November. So if you get the downloadable version, you'll get this thing for a song. So anyways, moving right along here, we are just going to jump right into the expense tracking because these videos tend to be chattier than usual anyway. And last week's video was an hour, so I am trying to come in under an hour today. That would be lovely for everybody involved. So first up, we have a Target purchase. This was actually just groceries. The total purchase came to $11.87. Right now, I am just going to remove this from what I spend on groceries next week. I have been doing that this month because I've sort of been just kind of pulling Thanksgiving and groceries all from the same pool of cash, and I will need less grocery money next week anyway because Thanksgiving food lasts for several days, so I'll be able to take advantage of that as far as saving a little bit on my grocery budget. Yeah, so I've just been rolling grocery deficits over from one week to the next, just because I know that Thanksgiving is going to be a slow grocery expense week for us. So it's totally fine. So this money actually won't be getting paid back to the bank, which is not a big deal. And definitely something I don't even necessarily know that I would advocate for if you're new to this particular way of budgeting. We were much more meticulous and much less what can appear to be reckless when we first started. But we sort of have a pretty good handle on things now. So we will roll deficits like this from one week to the next. We really don't like to go from 1 month to the next though. We like to make sure that we're staying within our allocated budget from month to month, but from week to week has a little bit of flexibility. Next up was a Thanksgiving purchase, and I'm really trying to remember what this was. $4.49. Oh, I know what it was. I needed to replenish my baking powder. I am a person who loves to bake. That's why I'm hosting a Thanksgiving dessert open house, because none of the people who are coming here for actual Thanksgiving will be able to eat all of the desserts that I would like to make for Thanksgiving. And so to give me the ability to, or the opportunity to bake for a bunch of people, we've decided to host an open house where people can kind of come and go as they please and nibble on some yummy desserts. So I needed to replenish my stock of baking powder because I use it in quite a few recipes. Plus also we just use it around the house anyway. So I picked up some of that. I also am realizing now that I'm going to need to get some yeast because I bake bread for Thanksgiving, and I'm probably going to do like 2 loaves of fresh bread. So I'm going to need some yeast too. Anyways, that was just thoughts with Veda. I'm not paying this money back though, because we have money sitting in our checking account waiting to be spent for Thanksgiving. So I don't even need to pay this back. But I do keep a record of it just so I know what I have left available to me to spend for Thanksgiving. So it's good for me to keep track of it. Next up, poor home maintenance has taken such a hit this month, and we worked so hard to build it back up. But it's fine. It's fine. What I ended up, excuse me. That was a yawn. I need a good night's sleep, evidently. I bought some more outlet timers, like to plug in my Christmas window candles. I'm sort of a minimalist when it comes to decorating for Christmas, but I do put window candles in, and I like the ones that plug in so that you can attach them to timers. They just last longer than batteries, frankly, and I mean, going through all of those batteries in one Christmas season feels so wasteful anyway. So I have thought about doing battery window candles, but in my experience, battery operated timed lights just don't last the entire season. So that's why I still use like plugged in window candles, and I needed some more timers for all the windows around my house that we actually do window candles in. So that's what this was. So it was $14.06, and I'll be returning $14 to the bank. Next up was...
Go ahead.
My kids aren't even home and I'm getting interrupted. Anyways, we have this Amazon purchase. It was $24.02. I'm struggling to remember what this was for. But it's coming from household, and I'll be returning $24 to the bank. Now is a good time to tell you actually about our virtual coin jar. So basically, obviously, every purchase that you make, rarely is it in whole dollar form. There's always change associated. So whenever we have a small amount of change like this, we actually just round down. And I'll be returning $24 to the bank and not this 2 cents. But more often than not, we are rounding up to the next dollar. And then my husband tracks that change overage in a spreadsheet that he keeps of our budget. And so we just kind of pull from that actually for purchases like this, whenever we have like 2 cents or 15 cents or 10 cents or something like that, he'll pull from that virtual coin jar in the same way that we contribute to it whenever we're rounding up. So that's kind of how we handle purchases like that. And you'll see further down the line when I go over other expenses where we're rounding up, that's where that change goes. It's tracked that way. Okay, maybe that was the last interruption, but we'll see. Next up was another grocery purchase. Again, this one's not being returned to the bank. I'm just subtracting from what I would be pulling for groceries. That's just annoying. Apple. We have this really cute video of our daughter saying apple. Anyway, now we're done being interrupted. So like I said, I'm not returning any grocery money to the bank. I'm just subtracting this from our grocery pool next week, which is totally fine. Next up was an Amazon purchase. This one was $38.62. We've broken this down into a couple different categories here. There we go. Okay, so we've got household. Actually, it was a near even split. So we've got household for $19.32. There's some like flubbage here. Oh, I'm sorry. I put all the change in one purchase. Either way, it doesn't really matter because I'm returning $19 each from household and home maintenance. This is one of the rare occasions where the change amount over 50 cents is something that we pull from the virtual coin jar. We don't usually do that, but when it's from categories of our budget that we spend from frequently and want to make sure that we have a lot of money sitting in those categories, we will round down instead of rounding up what we return. Next up, this purchase, actually, I didn't even update this. So it was actually $48.67. I wrote it down wrong, and Mr. Simple and I had a time trying to figure out where this $10 was in our budget. It was a nightmare. It was, oh my gosh, it was so miserable. Like when you're off $10, it's very frustrating. Anyway, this was like such an Amazon week. My husband was like, we're putting Jeff Bezos's children through college, specifically us. Anyways, $48.67. 8 of it was from our household envelope. 20 of it came from home decor, and $20.67 is coming from home maintenance. I'm actually returning 21 and not 11. So yeah, this happens, by the way, every now and then. Like if one of us isn't paying close enough attention, or we write or record the wrong number or something like that, we end up searching for a really long time to try to find the discrepancy, because we're both sort of neurotic about making sure that like all of our ducks are in a row and all of our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed. And this was one of those instances where I think we were trying to reconcile this $10 for like 45 minutes. I'm not even kidding you. I mean, in conjunction with that, like I would be like folding laundry, and Mr. Simple would be like combing through stuff and trying to figure it out, but it took a while to figure it out. Anyways, that's that for that purchase. Next up is Blue Land. I've mentioned them before on my channel. They are a clean brand that makes dishwasher pods. They're not even like pods in the traditional sense that you would see like from Cascade or something. They're like these little tablets, but they don't have a lot of the yucky ingredients in them that most dishwasher pods have in them. I don't even know how long. I think it's like a 3-month supply. It's 120 of these tablets for $42.96. So because this is technically actually a household purchase, but because household was a little light, we've decided to pull this from home maintenance. And so it was $42.67, and I'll be returning $43 to the bank. Next up was an Amazon purchase. This was actually just for materials for my Etsy shop. The total came to $50.28, and I'll be returning $50 to the bank because we rounded down on that one. Next up, oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, I'm so irritated. So I think I told you guys, was it in last week's video, that my Poshmark jeans purchase, like the post office messed it up, which was really irritating. Anyways, I got my money back for that, which was fine, which is why I'm only returning $5.37 for this purchase, because this is actually covering 2 pairs of jeans that I bought from Poshmark as well. So I'll be returning $6 to the bank, but one of the 2 pairs of jeans that this purchase covers came in yesterday, and the lady had mislabeled them as talls. So if you're new around here, I am tall. I'm 5'10", and all of my jeans have to be talls, unless it's like specifically a cropped pair of jeans, right? But if it's a full length pair of jeans, I have to get longs or talls or however they're labeled, because otherwise I look like I'm wearing not quite cropped jeans, like I'm prepping for the flood, you know? And so she had mislabeled them on Poshmark as talls, but when, I got them in yesterday, I tried them on and they were too short. And then I looked at the tag and I was like, oh, this is not a tall pair of jeans. So I will be getting money back for this as well. But I was so frustrated because I was like 2 Poshmark purchases in a row that have gone wrong. One because of the post office, and then another one because the woman mislabeled them. So it's not Poshmark's fault, but I'm just so frustrated because it's hard enough to find tall jeans secondhand and brand new with the tag still on them, which is how I prefer to buy jeans, because jeans especially have a way of sort of wearing to the body that they've been purchased by. And I don't want them to wear to other people's bodies. I want them to wear to my body. So I prefer them new with the tags on. And so it's hard enough to find them that way in a tall, but to find them and then for them to find out that they were mislabeled, I was so frustrated. So anyways, like I mentioned before, my previous return from Poshmark is the reason why I'm only returning $6 back from my envelope, because the return from the previous purchase covered 2 of these purchases actually. So anyways, that's that. Next up, we have, I don't even have the date on this one. We have an Apple purchase for $26.49. I think I mentioned to you guys, Mr. Simple and I, we only have like a few shows that we like to watch together, and we rewatch them semi-regularly. By semi-regularly, I mean like once every year or 2 years. And Scrubs is one of those shows for us. And we had only purchased like the first 3 or 4 seasons or something like that. So we decided the other day to just purchase the rest of the series, and it came to $26.49. So we're splitting it between the 2 of us for like our own personal spending. I'll just pull this off. We're splitting it between our own personal spending. So I'll be returning $13 from each of our envelopes. And that's that. And so we've been enjoying it because like every night when I'm folding laundry, it's nice for me to watch something so that I have a distraction. I really do not enjoy folding laundry. Folding laundry and cleaning bathrooms are like my 2 least favorite chores of all time. And I feel like they're the chores that I do the most. So when I'm folding laundry especially, I like to have a distraction by watching something that I really enjoy. Good TV show, good movie, whatever it is, really helps me to like zone in on the thing that I'm watching rather than focusing on the fact that I'm folding laundry yet again. So anyways, I'll be returning $13 from each of our envelopes. And then next up was a Chick-fil-A purchase. This was actually comical because my daughter negotiated for this. So my son had a choir concert at school a couple of weeks ago, and he was like, can we go to Chick-fil-A afterward? And we were like, no, but we will do like milkshakes for you guys this weekend. This was like a couple weeks ago. Well, we completely forgot to go take them for milkshakes that weekend. And so my daughter had a choir concert this week, and she reminded us, she was like, you said you were going to take us for milkshakes that weekend, and you never did. And so both of our kids negotiated for some Chick-fil-A for dinner that night. Little stinkers. Anyways, the total purchase was $38.94, and I will be returning $39 to the bank. We're pulling it from Family Fun because we don't have any dine out money. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, or the milkshakes. Anyways. All right. I'm going to zoom you guys back out, and then we will get into the unstuffing portion of the video. Alrighty, so now that I have you guys zoomed back out, what I'm going to do is add up all of the return to bank numbers over here. I always zoom you guys through this because we do not want to watch Veda use a calculator. That is not why we are here. But then once I add all of this up, it just gives me an idea for how much money I should expect to have at the end of the unstuffing, and then we'll actually get into that portion. So I will add this up and we'll be right back. All right, so actually not that much compared to last week. It was like $800 and something. This week we are looking to have 326 at the end of the unstuffing. So I do know, oh, let me just make a note of that really quickly. 326. I just like to have a point of reference because it's almost never that at the end of it, to be perfectly frank. And it won't be this week either because, like I mentioned, I'm excluding some of the grocery purchases and stuff like that. So, and actually, speaking of which, let me just go through really quickly. So we had 12, 25. Oh, that's it. Okay, so that's $37. So minus 37, and I'm just gonna just check off my grocery purchases here really quickly, and I'll show you guys how we handle this. So I'll just pop into my budget planner here, and then if you purchase my budget planner, I have oh, do you know what? It's actually in this stack of papers here. I have the monthly funding plan. And so this, for me, I utilize this to just go ahead and map out how I'm gonna do my cash stuffings every single week for you guys. So what I do whenever we have a discrepancy from one week to the next is I just go in and I make a note next to like the category or next to that week, depending on, you know, what it is. And so there's only one stuffing left in the month of November. And what did I just say? $37. So minus 37. I know this might look convoluted to you, but I understand my own notes. Obviously, tailor your style to what works best for you. But that's how I do that. I always go into the monthly funding plan for the next week of stuffing, and then I'll subtract whatever discrepancy I have from that week of stuffing. So I know to, you know, stay on track with my budgeting. So that's how we handle that. And then let me just, okay, so home maintenance, I'll just go into high priority now. So home maintenance, we had quite a few purchases actually. Let me see. So 14, 19, 21, 43, my goodness. So $97. Let's see, do I have that? Oh wait, home maintenance is, there we go. Why is everything all convoluted in here? 97, so 20, 40, 55, 60. So that leaves me 37, right? Yeah, 37 shy in home maintenance as well. It's fine. I am actually pulling, that's not right. I am supplementing it with Etsy and YouTube this month as well. So it's not that big of a deal, but it's definitely meaning that we're gonna have to supplement a little bit more heavily with this one. Let me grab my cash tray. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to supplement this one a little bit more heavily maybe next month just to compensate for the fact that we have really gone overboard with our home maintenance spending this month. But we'll sort it out, you know. It's fine. Okay, so let me just go in. Oops. All right, so reconcile these just so I know that I've already sort of accounted for it, so to speak. All right. And then let me go in now because I think household would be next. So 24, 19, 8, and I think that's it. So 51, I don't even know that I have 51 in household either. It's been crazy. 10, 25, 35, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. Actually, I could be much more shy than that, so I'll take a $6 discrepancy any way I can get it. So I'm gonna just minus 6, and cross off these household purchases as well. Oh, here, let me just... Okay, so let me make sure, do we have any, no, I don't think we have any other high priority. So we will go into low priority sinking funds next. And first up, let me look and see here. Home decor. I'm gonna pull $20 from that. Oh, there we go. All right, so 20, and then remaining in home decor, I've got 10, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Okay. Alrighty, and then we've got, let me pull actually from my hubby first because there's just only one purchase from him. So $13 from Mr. Simple. Oh, good. 10, 11, 12, 13. Here we go. And remaining in his envelope, we've got 20, 40, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Whoops. Come on now. So, oops, 44. And then from my spending, we've got a pull 6 and 13, so that's 19. All right, I'll just do that, pull back 1. And now in my envelope, I've got 50, 75, 76, and 77. All right, so, okay, family fun is gonna be the last one before I go into my business sinking funds. And, oh, I didn't even look, 39. Do I have 39 in here? 10, 25, 26, 27, and 28. Goodness. All right, that leaves me shy $11. This is just a discrepancy week. Nope. Okay, family fun. Minus 11. All right. And all right, so the only thing that we have left is materials, and that's going to be in my business binder. Let me give this one a look-see. I think I will be shy on this one too, but I have a lot of money coming its way in the stuffing. Yeah, $30. And I was supposed to pull 50. So I'm $20 shy. And I will make a note of that. Actually in a different section. So minus 20. Okay. Now let me just take my original number of, oh wait, let me just make a note of that really quickly. So 326 minus 37 minus 37 minus 6 minus 11 minus 20. So I should actually have $215 sitting here. All right, here we go. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, okay, 50, 65, 75, 85, 95, 200, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 215. All right, we did it. Now, listen. If you are new and you are still watching, I realize that this video of all of the videos could be the most confusing. One, because I didn't have all of the cash in my envelopes and I'm just going to be pulling the discrepancies from future stuffings. This is not a thing that I recommend to somebody who is new, especially because I think that it's important to really be as tight and stringent as you possibly can when you first start down the road of budgeting. But also, like, I have supplement money coming to this soon that will kind of offset the discrepancies. Like, there are a lot of things that are stacking up that make this actually not that big of a deal. But I know this can be very, very confusing. If you're new to all of this, I always recommend watching several different content creators because you're going to learn something new and something different depending on who you watch. And you may find that you utilize several different content creators' methods to adapt to your own system that makes sense for you. So if this is my first video, the first video of mine that you're ever watching, and you are so confused, I promise you that eventually this stuff it all makes sense. You will figure it out. You'll figure out what works for you. It's actually not that complicated. We've just been doing this for basically 2 years at this point. So there's a lot of leeway that we take with ourselves now that we never, ever would have taken when we first started down the budgeting road. So just know that if you're confused, it's probably my fault. It's not your fault. And this will eventually all make sense to you. So don't be deterred by me going through a process that makes sense in my brain. And if it doesn't make sense to you, find another content creator whose system and way of doing things does make sense to you, because that's the most important thing at the end of the day, is you finding a budgeting system that works, because we want everybody to have financial freedom, financial peace. I don't want anybody to walk away from this thinking budgeting is too difficult and I'm just going to kind of do what I've been doing this whole time, even if it's not working for you. So anyways, now that I've said all of that, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. And if you did, I would love it so much if you would give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. I hope that your weekend is wonderful. We will be hanging around the house, honestly, honestly and truly. We'll be here still doing Christmas decorating and doing a lot of prep baking and stuff for Thanksgiving. So, not exciting according to society terms, but this is the stuff that I love. I love baking. I love prep work for a holiday. I like all of that sort of anticipation stuff. So it'll be a good one for me. And I hope that it's a good one for you. And I will be back here with you guys again on Monday, with our last cash stuffing of November, which is absolutely wild to say. So anyways, I hope that you guys have a fabulous weekend, and I will be back here with you again on Monday. Bye, everyone.